Welcome to this week's edition of High School Sports Zone. I'm Ashley Dill. So it's been wet this week, but that hasn't slowed down sports around the area, and I'll have your coverage in just a minute in Sports Rewind. Tonight on the roster, Scott McMahon introduces you to a Boyd Buchanan basketball player dominating the court in rebounds. And later, I'll introduce you to a group of high school kids putting Xbox and anime to the test. And to wrap up the show, I'll have your zone calendar so that when the rain stops, you know what events to check out later this week and over the weekend. Let's get things started with highlights from the last few wet days here in your Sports Rewind.
Sports Rewind is presented by Jeff Ramsey, RE/MAX Realtor.
We begin on Friday night as baseball took center stage in Georgia as Northwest took on Coahulla Creek at home. Logan Hilton had a big day on the mound for the Bruins as he would ring up 16 strikeouts in the season opener for Northwest. The Bruins would score in the fourth inning on a 2-out Will Brock single that would score Henson Gibbs to help Northwest Whitfield pick up the win over the Colts by a final of 1-0. They would turn around and play again on Monday as the Bruins would pick up the win on the road. The Bruins were led by Philip Hammonds as his 9 strikeouts and an 8-run third inning helped Northwest Whitfield win 9-1 and move to 2-0 on the season. Heritage went across town to take on Ringgold on Friday night. The Generals showed no mercy for the Tigers as they took advantage of a 6-run second inning to jump out front and never look back. Andrew Morton went 2 for 4 with 2 singles for Heritage. Isaac Miller went 1 for 3 and scored 2 runs as the Generals ran away with this one as they hold on to beat Ringgold 10-1. Heritage would go on the road Monday as they played at LFO. Freshman Johnny Hickman would get the win for the Generals as Heritage capitalized on a 3-run first and fifth inning to pick up the victory. Heritage runs their record to 3-0 on the season. On Sunday, the McMinn Central Chargerettes made their way to the Class 2A state championship game as they took on Martin Luther King out of Nashville. Central came out of the gates hot as they went on a 13-5 run to start the game. Jacoby Lynn helped the Chargerettes by scoring 14 of the Central 28 in the first half to give them the lead at the half. The Royals would regroup at halftime as they powered their way back in the second half. Molly Kafader would lead the charge for MLK as her bucket with 4:24 to go in the third would give the Royals their first lead of the game. They would go on to battle it out in the fourth quarter, but Martin Luther King would go on to win the Class 2A Girls State Championship by a final of 58-51. McMinn Central would close the season with a 30-6 record. On Monday, baseball season officially got underway in Tennessee as Hickson took on Red Bank at home in a district matchup. Tanner Moylan took to the hill for the Wildcats as he would not disappoint. He would pick up 18 strikeouts along the way as Hickson would only give up 1 hit to the Lions. The Wildcat bats came alive in the third inning with the bases loaded. Brennan Carver would drive 1 to right center and that would drive in 2 runs as Hickson would go on to cruise in this one as they win it 7-1. Tyner took on Chattanooga Central in the season opener on Monday. The Pounders came alive in the third as they posted 8 runs over the course of 2 innings. Scout Morgan went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs for Central in the win as they would tally up 11 runs to seal the deal. Central rolls in this one 11-1. In soccer, Boyd Buchanan took on East Ridge in a non-district matchup. The Bucks took control in the first half when Kate Owens picks up the goal for Boyd when he gets the header off of a corner kick from John Beasley to give the Bucks the 1-0 lead. Beasley would get the assist later off of another corner kick. This time he would connect with Ross Wertman for the header, giving Boyd the 2-0 lead. Later in the half, Hunter Bradford would find Dave Ingram, who would slip one past the goalie as the Bucks would go on to win this one by a final score of 6-1. In tennis, the 0-3 Heritage boys tennis team, off to an unusually slow start this year, were looking for the first win on Monday versus Pickens County. Heritage had no trouble in the singles as Hunter Long beat Josh Gordon 8-2, while Andy Besh dropped his first match to quickly rally and take the set 8-1. In doubles, Spencer DeHart and Logan Bennett were too strong for Pickens as they served up a shutout to win their match 8-0. The Generals would go on to sweep the boys' match 5-0, bringing their record to 1-3 and 1-0 in the region. On the girls' side, Heritage lost 3-2. In softball, Eastridge opened up their season against visiting Polk County. The Lady Wildcats would warm the bats up early as they would score 9 runs in the first 3 innings to give them a 9-2 advantage heading into the 4th. Brianna Muller had a huge day for Polk County with 2 home runs, and Hannah Triplett picked up the win on the mound as well as going 2 for 3 at the plate with a home run. The Lady Wildcats only needed 5 innings to dispose of the Pioneers as they won this one going away 16-2. On a rainy Tuesday, it was a day fit for Ducks in soccer as Chattanooga Central took on Red Bank. The Pounders would get on the board first as they would lob one over the goalie to find the corner of the net to give Central the early lead, 1-0. Later on in the half, Jacob Wilson would win the race as he would find a defending goalie out front and an open net as his goal would put Central on top 2-0. Later, the lines would draw a little closer when Sandy Beganovich would hook up with Tanner Crow across the field as he would hit the sliding goal for Red Bank to make it 2-1. But Central would go on to add 2 more goals to help seal the victory as they win it by a final score of 4-1.
Can I just say I do not miss playing in the rain or the humidity for that matter. There's more to come after the break. Scott McMahon sits down with Boyd Buchanan's Maddie Wright as she makes waves as a Lady Buck. Stick around because The Zone will be right back.